allow them to be aggressive against a champion like Misfortune. Just dive right into her and completely shut her down, shut down Katarina as well potentially. But right off the bat,
we'll need to shut her down because she's already banned.
And that was kind of the question: was Katarina is just so strong and was able to snowball a lot of those fights? Will you just ban the Katarina? The answer is yes. So they get rid of that, and I don't know, Nintendo probably going to stick with some of the same ones as last time.
Yeah, so Skarner, Shen, and Jace were bans for Dynamic game number 1. Meat Playground game number 1 banned out Evelyn, Rengar, and Ezreal. So at the very least, one amongst those 6 should be left open this game. It's just a matter of which one. And it's actually sticking with the same Skarner ban, ban number 1 there from Dynamic.
And it's the control. Skarner's a really strong control jungler. They ban out Olaf as well, so they don't even want to deal with it. Yeah, I mean that was a strong ban, but they stick with get rid of those control junglers. Nintendo, he's really comfortable with playing some junglers that most people don't play. So get rid of the strongest junglers in the game. Allow him to play those unique champions and set up some cool kills.
So see, we got 2 options actually left open. Rengar going to be banned out by Dynamic this time. So I think there's a possibility here where Meat Playground can leave a lot of great first pick options open. You got Shen, you got Jace, you got Ezreal, you got Evelyn. Orianna could also still be open for that first pick. Maybe you might want to take it here this time.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see Meat Playground ban out. Oh, okay, never mind. I was going to say something else, but Evelyn. I was going to say Jace and leave open, a support or something like that. But Evelyn's out now. They kind of have to decide. They don't want to ban Sona or Blitzcrank, I don't think, because they want to be able to take the opposite of that. They might ban the Nunu. I think that would probably be the best choice for them. Shen is open though, so they have to decide whether or not they want to give Meat Playground that first pick Shen. I'm
not sure if they want to. Ezreal also equally is good. I mean,
and it's interesting. Light Sludge, Ezreal's his best champion, so we've seen him play a lot of Ezreal in the past.
But it will be the Jace first pick here for Meat Playground there in the top lane. So Shen is open. Shen's a possibility. Who else is open? I think that's about it. So you got pretty much all of our bases covered. So Shen and Blitz going to be the first 2 pickups here for Dynamic. Shen more likely going to be going in that top lane up against Mr. Jace with that chin and that cannon for that range harass.
Oh, but switching it up last second to Orianna.
Also equally as good. Equally as good. It worked out so well game number 1. Yeah. Might as well stick with it.
Yeah, I mean, Shen and Orianna is a really strong, comp together, so that's definitely going to be a nice pick. And they do know Paradoxical. He was able to win the game or win the lane last game against Pobelter. Pobelter was able to farm, but still he put on a lot of pressure. And so Meat Playground, we'll see where they're going to go. I think Blitzcrank, if they went with Blitzcrank or Sona right now, either of them are good options. But I really would expect to see that Morgana. But maybe they'll hold off on a little bit.
Yeah.
Don't want to leave themselves open to a team that would be really strong against Morgana.
Yeah, Morgana option is open. Do you think there's a possibility they may stick with Anivia once again, actually?
Yeah, I mean, that's always going to be a possibility. Anivia is very strong. So if Pobelter, if he's happy with that Anivia and happy with that matchup that he saw in the previous game, that could definitely work out for them. But it seems, I think they might go with the Graves.
A little bit of a decision there. So Kog'Maw could also work here too with the Blitz, get the slow, follow up. But Corki has quite a bit of damage in there. I like that. I like that pick a little bit better too. So a little bit of true damage coming in if you can manage to get that hook, and also keeping the Blitzcrank away from Dynamic can be huge. But that he's like, hey, you're gonna take our support. Well, we're gonna take your jungler. So there's a Nunu now on to Dynamic, and with that aggressive style from Nintendo, he can go in for quite a few aggressive steals. But there's also a slim chance that could also be a support Nunu.
Yeah, and I would actually more expect that to be a support because it's not really in Nintendo's. I mean, I guess he could play the Nunu, but I don't know if I've ever seen Nintendo play Nunu. So we'll kind of see where he goes with that. It could work out either way, but they keep it off of NK Inc. And
that's the important
not
thing.
Having the Olaf, NK Inc.'s best jungler really is Nunu. So they have a couple of options here. Nunu does actually do very well against Blitzcrank because you can hook in Nunu and you're not really going to accomplish a whole lot. So they could keep that in that support role, but we'll have to see.
It's almost seemingly trying to random select here. Will it actually be? No, Annie. No. That will be a Caitlyn.
So it is going to be Nunu support.
Yes. Nunu with Caitlyn is pretty amazing because Caitlyn, she has one of the biggest range, if not the biggest range among ADs down there in the bot lane, and to have that extra attack speed for that push and to have the extra mobility. Pretty much Caitlyn only has that net in order to escape bad situations. And to have that mobility is going to be absolutely vital. And also, that's great for harass down in the bot lane. and it should also add a little bit more pushing power onto the turret there in bot also.
It's one of the best pushing lanes in the game. I mean, just being able to poke down the towers very easily. Caitlyn is, arguably the strongest AD carry in the laning phase just because of her range, her nice attack animation, everything like that. So she can kind of bully around other AD carries, and having the Nunu for the support, the attack speed's low, they can exchange harass very effectively. So that's a very strong lane for them. They do lock in on the Maokai, so a really aggressive lane, and the Xerath would actually be interesting because this is actually similar to what we had seen CLG run and Mono.Ferus. We've seen them run it in the past as well. Having that Xerath mid, actually I think it was only CLG, but we've seen CLG run Xerath mid in the past with Big Fat running the Xerath, comboing it with the Maokai, and then having the Jace. So it gives them a lot of poke. Once Xerath picks up a couple of levels, that mid game really is just devastating. Xerath has so much damage, and I think Xerath should have enough damage to just insta-kill Orianna if, or once Xerath hits 6. Most champions mid are too squishy to deal with Xerath, and I think he just has barely enough to take Ori down.
Yeah, and also should also just barely be able to outrange Ori too, because the range on the orb, the range on the command attack. If you get Xerath rooted, he just roots himself going with the Q. I'm pretty sure that range is highly superior.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a really nice range, and I mean, I don't know, it's kind of an even matchup if Orianna can use her mobility to try and dodge those stuns. But early on, Orianna should win. Once Xerath hits 6, though, that's going to be a tough lane. And Zion Spartan, he switches up. So he goes actually with the Nidalee. They're sending Nintendo with the Shen. And we've seen Zion Spartan. His Nidalee is one of the strongest in the NA scene, at least. He's been a very strong Nidalee for quite some time.
Yep. Anyway, one of the best things you can do in top lane when you're facing up against someone who has the potential for range harass someone like Jace, well, he can do one of two things. One, I'm going to range harass you back, or two, you get someone who can sustain very well, someone who has great heals. Nidalee has both. And you also have the escape options available, too, if things just happen to get a little bit too hairy. So we can see a very well-farmed Nidalee actually heading on in to the mid-game from Zion Spartan.
It's going to be scary, though. Zion Spartan's definitely at a disadvantage in that lane. He does have the heal, but Jace's damage is it's really difficult for Nidalee to deal with. Nidalee, her auto-attack harass and her heals and everything, they were nerfed repeatedly over time because she was just too strong of a laner, considering that you could play AP Nidalee and play that poke game. And so she kept on getting nerfed repeatedly, actually running movement speed. So that'll allow her to dip in and out a little bit more easily. And in particular, when she's actually running utility as well, so a lot of movement speed, so that she can leave the lane pretty effectively with that. But Jace, his damage, 1v1 with the auto attacks, they're kind of even. Jace wins that slightly, but when Jace transitions into that melee form against Nidalee, he's going to be able to just destroy Nidalee before she hits level 6. So Zion Spartan, he's going to need to play defensively, sit back a little bit, farm. Once he gets a couple of items, he's going to be able to exchange a little bit more easily. And AD Nidalee's a really strong lane, but I'm interested to see who's going to win. It's kind of a skill matchup, but Jace definitely has the upper hand.
Yeah, I'm absolutely interested to see who wins that too. I mean, I would like to see the Nidalee win, but that's just me. That's just me. You also got bot lane. You see, we saw looking at runes and masteries there from our ADs. You also had the one crit rune on Don't Mash Me, hoping for that one eventual crit that will come. Hopefully
we've talked about that in the past.
And we have.
When they got rid of the crit masteries, it was so OP. They needed to get rid of it because one crit would win you the lane. It would just be really strong. And so people joked about putting in one crit rune in their page. You don't want a lot because you don't want to waste the stats, but just one, just so that every once in a while you get a lucky crit, you win the game off of it.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm trying. I think I'm somewhat right about how the game calculates crits, because if you have any crit potential, if you're not making a crit, does that somehow like a very small percentage increase your next attack to have another crit? I think so. I think so, because eventually it'll happen.
I'd have to check. It depends. I don't think so. Some games run off of I mean, there's no such thing as true random. So it just depends on what kind of algorithm that they're trying to use. I don't know. I'm guessing that I'm pretty sure that they fixed that a long time ago, and they've changed it up so that successive crits don't increase or decrease. No, actually, you know what? Did they change it so that it's more consistent? I think you're right. They might have changed it so it's more consistent. So if you miss crits over and over again, you're more and more likely to hit crits.
Right. But if you have 0 crit chance, the opportunity is never going to come. That's the purpose of the one.
Yeah. So we'll see, because I think they might have normalized it so that you get an expected value of crits, you get an established number of crits, and it's not like you're going to hit a number of crits in a row or miss a lot in a a row.
Unless, of course, you're Tryndamere and you're fully stacked.
Yeah. But we'll see what they're going to do with this. We've taken a look at all these teams. We've taken a look at the Runes and Masteries cleanse on Caitlyn.
Yes.
That's going to allow them to be really aggressive and not have to worry about Maokai coming in, ruining their day, which is always going to be a threat. But we'll have to see. I'm curious to see how aggressively they can push on that Corki lane, because Corki, once he hits 6, he's going to be able to clear the minions pretty effectively. But early on, they're going to easily eat through his mana if they're pushing him into the turret. They might even decide to go for a lane swap. I mean,
they could.
Caitlyn and Nunu, that's a common lane to go top or go mid. And actually, Nidalee, rather than seeing the Nidalee versus Jace, it might be likely that they're actually going for a lane swap, send their AD and support up top, and then have Nidalee do that 1v2.
There is a potential there, and I asked this previously too. Let's take a look at the lane matchup, because I think Nunu Caitlyn can definitely take out a tower significantly faster than Corki and Blitzcrank, because Blitzcrank, he really offers like no steroid to Corki whatsoever.
No,
he's there for the hook, and
there's no question.
Yeah,
there's no question they take out the tower quickly. The only difference is if it's Jace versus Caitlyn and Nunu, Jace has that AoE clearing, and he's going to be able to poke Caitlyn off of the turret. Whereas on the other side, Corki and Blitzcrank, Nidalee doesn't have the AoE clearing, and she's not going to be as safe because Blitzcrank could threaten that hook. And as a result, it actually might tend to make the pushing go in the advantage of Corki and Blitzcrank, because they're going to be able to get free attacks on the damage, whereas Caitlyn and Nunu kind of need to fight for them some. But we'll kind of see where they're going to go. It's definitely a threat, but I don't know. Maybe Meet Playground in response, maybe they'll just expect it and send their lane swapping.
They could, and we will see what happens. But first, we got to go through the initial roundabout. So everyone's getting on into position. Just a quick little DC. We should be back in just a second, though. But you look at the quick items. There's nothing too crazy. There's actually no boots on Blitzcrank here. A little bit of a change.
Yeah, and so we'll hopefully they're going to be back in this game shortly, but we'll see if they are going to be doing any aggressive early invades. The poke from Jace is okay level 1, but they're not really going to want to force anything. They could consider it with the Blitzcrank, but I don't know. I don't think either team is really that strong that they're going to want to force a level 1 invade. They'll probably just do a standoff by the blue and just kind of check out what's going on.
Hopefully Domashme is fine here. We will see if he's okay, if we can actually proceed. But just from the little data we have, actually on 22 seconds in, you do see a ping right here on to the side river from Dynamic. So I think that's going to be their primary target on where they want to start, where they want to set up camp. And you actually see Beat Playground actually going, conveniently enough, to the opposite bush, or actually to the opposite end of the river, camping out the tri-ramp just to see if they get invaded for that aggressive ward.
Oh, Caitlyn taking the traps first. I was curious. I mean, that's usually the common ability.
Yeah.
Nidalee went traps first as well, so that gives them some map vision. Orianna has the map vision. But almost walking into that, I mean, they almost could have just thrown a blind hook and then killed Caitlyn pretty quickly. She would have used her flash, maybe gotten out.
Yeah.
But I think Lemon God, he's actually waiting for it. If Mashme comes up again for another trap, he's going to get the hook.
Does get the hook, flashes out immediately, and uses the cleanse. So there's all summoner spells used on the Caitlyn, but unfortunately no kill. But that is going to be huge when you see them enter into that bot lane if they don't go for that swap.
There's no summoners used by Meet Playground, and that's going to allow them to be extremely aggressive no matter what they're doing. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised they didn't follow that up with a blue invade, because a lot of times when you force someone to burn those summoners, they can't really defend the blue as effectively as they would like to. But Orianna, Caitlyn, Nidalee, they're all pretty strong on the defense, and Zion Spartan just traps all over the place. So he wants to keep a nice eye on that blue. Try and catch out. I mean, he should catch out Maokai when he's heading up to his blue.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so that's going to allow him to know when he's going to be able to be aggressive and whatnot. And it seems both lanes, they're going to their even matchups. And we'll see that Jace versus Nidalee. We'll see the Caitlyn Nunu versus the Corki Blitzcrank. And Maokai getting some help for his bread. Is he going to do it smiteless? I think he is. So
he's trying.
Yeah, he should be able to with the ADs there.
Oh, it's resetting. Now he's going to have no choice. He's going to have to use that smite just if he wants to keep pace here with the Shen. Well, actually, no, he's stubborn. He's gonna hold on to it. He's sticking to the plan. He's like, hey, damn it, I wanted this smiteless. I'm gonna get it smiteless. Yeah,
I mean, they gave him enough support, so that's the benefit of being blue side, is you can do that really easily. You can't really do that as well on the purple side. But we'll see what they do. An early ward to keep an eye on Blitzcrank. They don't want to get any hooks or anything, but NK Inc., he's coming in the mid lane, wants to see if he can do something.
There is no vision on NK. He's just right out of the shadows, but he may be going in for this gank here in the mid. There's the flash into Twisted Advance and followed up. Bowbelter flashing in response, putting the Ignite down onto Orianna, but will it be enough? I don't think it will be.
One more Q is going to get the kill, though, so Paradoxical has to play really defensively here because Xerath's really close to getting that. And actually, Shen's going to be pressuring him. Or actually, is Shen going in for the blue? Nintendo, he's going for a steal.
He's going in. They saw that no traps were triggered, and they also recognized that now Maokai's flash is down. So that if he just decided to go for it, he has no escape. He has no flash.
Maokai's going to see him, though. He's throwing a sapling over the wall. So it's actually going to be a fight here. So Smite battle, see who can pick this up. NK Inc. does walk over a trap, but because Orianna's low, he's actually at an advantageous situation.
Yeah, Nintendo's knows he's not in the best of situations. He's actually getting collapsed upon by All Meat Playground. Will he be able to get out of there? Yes, he does have the shield. Don't walk into that queue. That could be foolish. Does get out. That was way too close for comfort.
Yeah, extremely aggressive, almost dies. That would have been brutal to give up any sort of early advantage. Maokai will be safe to take his blue, though, so he's going to get a nice little advantage over Shen. And Shen's already kind of a slow jungler. NK Inc.'s going to kind of struggle with that, but he's going to get it in time. He's going to be able to back and then, try and put some pressure on some of these lanes. But we'll see. I'm curious how mid's going to go because Powelter was given a really significant early advantage, but I think that Orianna might start to bite back a little bit.
You also see that Caitlyn, despite all of the summoners gone, at minute 1 is not stopping Don't Mash Me from still being pretty damn aggressive here in the bottom lane with that Nunu support, and Pixel doing a fantastic job keeping those blood boils up. And you also got Lemon God. He's not getting really any of his opportunities because you have this great positioning here from the AD and support. Right behind the minions, like, hey, you can't grab me. You can't grab me.
And they should be pretty safe now. The movement speed that Nunu gives them, it allows them to get away from Maokai ganks pretty easily.
Yes.
But then you also have to consider Maokai doesn't have his flash, so they know they can be aggressive and not have to worry about hard engage. They still have to watch out for the blitz hook into a Maokai or anything like that. But so far, they're being extremely aggressive, and they should be able to have a nice farm advantage over Corki.
Yep, and with that minion shield, they should continue to be fine just right here. Nintendo going to farm up on the Wraiths. You got Powelter still looking for a rest down on the Para. And yeah, Para cannot really exchange here because Xerath just is such a long-range champ. He's able to get those Qs off so efficiently and with such frequency. He's just slowly pugging away Para. And there is the root, looking for a little bit more damage. Does get the stun. NK can actually come in here. He still does not have that flash, but cannot close the gap. But here comes Nintendo waiting for him as he's going back into the bush. There is the taunt.
There's no flash.
There is no flash, and NK, he's got a long way to go, but you got Qs coming over the wall from Powelter to keep Orianna away. And the tree will be able to fall back into his own jungle.
Oh, Lemon God, he's trying to force this. He's going to get the hook on the Don't Mash Me. There's the flash. They're actually going to turn this around. Don't Mash Me drops the trap as well. Pixel, or Lemon God and Light Sludge in a really dangerous situation, but Nunu was able to dissuade them there.
Nintendo coming on up. Can he get the taunt? He does get the taunt down onto Jace. There's a little bit of free damage from Nidalee, but Nidalee lanes, there's not as much damage as you'd like for those early game ganks. So there's nothing too much is going to happen, but it will push him back.
That's huge, though, getting that free damage. That's really going to help her out a lot. And Caitlyn almost getting the kill there. I don't know if it would have killed Lemon God, but his shield is down, so he didn't want to risk it, and he backs off. But Maokai's here. They didn't get out in time, and actually NK Inc. might be able to pick up this kill and Pixel along with Corki, but there's the Valkyrie trying to grab at the Ignite as well. I don't know if they're going to have it. He might actually turn this around.
You do have Light Sludge. He did commit, but realized the folly of his ways. Don't Mash Me, if he returns back in, he could get something still, but there's Powelter being trapped by Nintendo and Para. The first blood does go to Nintendo on Shen there in the mid lane, and now he's immediately transitioning down to bot because he recognizes, hey, there is still a blitz here, and he is pretty low.
Yeah, and they will back off. It, again, gives Caitlyn and Nunu a nice advantage. They're able to really defensively just retreat. They can just use that movement speed advantage, just use Nunu's natural tankiness to get out of there. And Zion Spartan, with the early advantage, he's able to bully around Rux here. So, definitely really interesting. He's using some of that harass in the Cougar form and able to take him down.
Yep, that ultimate is huge, and that also means the Science Spartan is going to be that much more mobile. So if there are any ganks that come in there in the top lane from Maokai, from NK Inc., it's going to be a little bit of an easier time just to get away, to get to safety behind that tower. And NK also setting up because that blue is about to, well, it was a delayed blue, so it's not coming up back yet. But he does have time to make an attempt on top lane and then double on back and give Xerath that blue. So we'll see if he makes anything happen here.
They're going to get this.
Zion Spartan, though, he goes in Cougar form. There is a twisted advance coming from NK. He does burn the flash and get it. The Ignite going down on the Zion Spartan will be enough, and the Q through the gate does have sufficient damage to take down that Nidalee.
The killing potential is just brutal. I almost thought that Rux might be blowing it by knocking him away, but he knew that he was going to be able to hit the Q and pick that up. Pobelter actually in a dangerous spot here. Paradoxical zoning him a little bit, and that's the concern, is that Orianna has a little bit easier harass than Xerath does.
Yeah.
She can kind of chase into him, use that mobility, and then maybe pull him out of his ultimate. So if he's in that turret form, she gets the free damage, she gets the ultimate.
Yep.
So Xerath can't get too low because there's always the threat of that Orianna kill. But that goes both ways. Xerath has the same damage.
Yeah, but also knows that Para is actually building pretty tanky. He has that early null magic, which is going to be going into a Chalice, I assume. But he's also got a Heart of Gold, which is not something you see on a whole lot of mids.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. There are a couple of mids who like going those gold pretends. Usually you go with the cage. Nintendo trying to force it. There's the Orianna ultimate. It actually misses on Pobelter. Nintendo very close to going down, but is able to barely get out of there. The Ignite not going to be able to finish him. So is able to, fortunately able to get out of there. But I think Orianna recognizes it's going to be a farm lane. And not only that, but Xerath is so dangerous with the damage that Orianna got the magic resist with the null magic mantle and also the health. So he doesn't want to instantly die. Xerath doesn't have great poke, but he has great burst potential. And so having that poke advantage for Paradoxical is allowing him to win this lane.
NK Inc. double on back, grabbing that red buff. He does not. There's a smite. There you go. There's no reset. I'm sure he's happy about that. Blue buff is actually still open though, and away. You do have a ward though right in front of it, just in case Dynamic decides to get aggressive and try and go for that steal, so that way that Jason Xerath can actually collapse once again in on it. Light Sledge and Lemigod taking their turn trying to push up the bot lane. And Pobelter actually getting a little bit of push here in mid, but there you go. Maokai coming on back from base. It is time to give the Xerath the blue, and he should be able to get that. Zion Spartan there. Also in top lane, he does have that Phage finished, so he's trying to get some harass down on Jace. Hopefully he'll get that slow and get a little bit of extra damage. And he also got Shen. Nintendo has the Razors, possibly looking for that Wriggles later on. He wants that damage. He wants to have a little bit of an easier time clearing out the jungle.
Yeah, no, that move, that jungling speed's definitely going to be nice because Shen's such a slow jungler. So it's kind of a common thing in a lot of situations. Zion Spartan drops a ward, will get himself some vision, and then back out again. He wants to be aggressive in that lane with harass, and really any threat of Maokai, he's going to die. So he needs to make sure he keeps an eye out on him.
Rox taking a little bit of advantage here, wants to push up that lane, and one Q through the gate is enough to clear the rest of the minion wave. And he's on the fence, like, do I want to go down bot? Do I want to stay here? Do I want to soak up some experience? And he will actually stay around, trying for free harass down on the Zion Spartan with the Q, with all that. Force out those heals, force Zion to actually drain up the mana. And look at the kiting in between, in and out, just making sure that it does not draw turret aggro. Very well done.
Oh, Maokai's sitting mid, though. Wants to pick up a kill on Orianna. If he gets in range, his flash is not up, but the stun just barely missing. Pobelter can't quite get it. If he had hit that stun, they would have had that kill.
That stun just did not land, just barely by inches. And if it did, yeah, the Twisted Advance would have come on in and wrecked Orianna's day. But fortunately, this is not the case. But Pobelter still using the ultimate charges. Does get pulled in through the Ori ult, but there is Nintendo one something, anything. If he can get that Vorpal Blade, there is the attack on the orb. Paradoxical just cleared just enough distance to get that one move and does get that kill there in the mid.
It's a bottleneck. By going around the corner there, he put himself in a bad situation. Walking right into Nintendo, had to back off. NK Inc. trying to threaten the bot, but they're just pushing and then happily backing off for the Dragon. And with Orianna having the advantage mid, they should be able to take this. Orianna is recalling, though. So actually, Meat Playground, they might actually decide to fight this.
There is no vision, but they do have a hunch, and that hunch is now confirmed. Lemigod ekes out right in front. No hook will be coming on down, but it does keep Dynamic away from doing it just for the time being, and also have it present. I
mean, they're going to take so much damage from the Dragon. They don't have any heals. They don't have that strong of a jungler at taking Dragons, so they know they need to get out of there. And that's the good call. Shen also can kind of threaten top. I wouldn't be surprised to see Zion Spartan if there's a point where he tries to be aggressive against Rux and then expect the Shen ultimate on top of him. But you see Rux is definitely winning this lane so far. This might actually be the moment. Nope, just backing off. Just get some free damage and gets out of there.
Yep, Zion Spartan knows that he's out of mana.
Yeah.
And granted, all the stuff in Cougar form does not really require any of it. Still, though, you need to come out sometime. You need to throw down those heals. You need to try and sustain that
Maokai
fight.
mid once again. I think Xerath's going to get the stun this time. He's using his ultimate for it. The twisted advance. He's definitely going to get his damage.
Here comes Shen, though. Nintendo does have the ult coming out in. Does get the taunt. Actually, on both members of Meat Playground, you still have the Qs coming in from Xerath, but the orb, the ultimate from Para, is more than enough to help skyrocket all of that damage to get the kill once again down onto Pobelter.
With the shields, with the Heart of Gold, with the Chalice,
yeah,
he's really too tanky. It was a great decision by Paradoxical to go that item path, and it's really helping him out a lot against this Xerath, and he's really putting himself ahead in that lane.
And look at the ult. It shows in the gold. You're about 1,300 gold in the lead here in the mid. Wonderful job by Para. And Nintendo just keeping NK Inc away. Nintendo, he wants to push that wave. He wants to deny all of that farm from Pobelter, and it looks like he's going to be able to do it. Zion Spartan did back all the way back to base. Did get, well, because that's where you back to. Got all his mana back in his pool. Also a little Sapphire Crystal just for a little bit more. And the Ninja Tabby just for a little bit more tanky in these exchanges with the Jace. Rux with the slam backwards, but Jace did not back. So he is pretty much out of mana. Zion Spartan getting all this free harass coming on in, and that is a lot of healthy attack speed, plus the slow coming in. He's going for it. He wants his dive. He is going for that commitment, but now decides, you know what? I'm Nidalee. I'm a Cougar. I don't want that kind of commitment right now.
He's kind of hurting himself, though. The spear from Nidalee. Nidalee's actually going for it. Zion Spartan wants this. I'm not sure he's going to be able to get it. Actually, the attack, Zion Spartan's going to go down as well. No, just barely surviving. So that was as close as it gets. But that was really dangerous. Zion Spartan, he did get the kill, but that really...
We're going back. I want to see how low Zion Spartan actually got.
He got to like 10 health, but that could have snowballed the lane against him.
He got to 12 health on that. That was ridiculous.
That definitely could have thrown him out of this lane because he was in a situation where he was going to get some free farm against Jace. Jace was going to have to back. He might have been able to push the turret, and he would have been full health. He would have been full mana, but instead he wanted to dive for the kill, and that almost turned against him. But it worked out in the end. He knew how much health he had. It was a nice decision. And Caitlyn, that's a kill.
Oh yeah, Light Sledge just could not get back in time to save his robot buddy. The ultimate very well timed. Para taking quite a bit of burst from Pobelter, but
nowhere
recognizing
near as much as Xerath needs, though.
Oh, don't mash me! Flashing on beyond the turret.
The movement
Get out of the brush.
Too great.
Oh! How did that not hit?
He would have had it if he had just kept running. I think he would have had it. He was in range to attack. He had the movement speed from Nunu, but he didn't want to check the bush. He wanted to just Q through the bush. It gave Corki an opportunity to flash out of there. So
yeah.
It doesn't really matter that much. Caitlyn's still doing great, and Caitlyn's going to be able to take this turret. So it's still a really significant lead for Dynamic. But I'm curious to see how Meat Playground's going to come back, because Pobelter is in a really dangerous spot right now because he doesn't have enough damage to take people down, and Xerath really needs to be focused in the mid game. I mean, Xerath needs to just take over, just be such a dominant presence in the mid game. Pobelter can't do that right now. Pobelter, Xerath, as you get later and later into the game, he falls off, and he's not as strong as he needs to be right now. At
the very least, though, he's going to be having that mana. He is grabbing that blue buff right now. Jace and Nidalee still dueling it out here in top lane. Zion Spartan now actually taking that level lead, now surpassing in creeps.
Constant harass.
My God, that is brutal. And that phage proc, every time it comes in, it's no escape. It is no escape from the endless spears. And that previous kill, and now coming back in through the creep farm. You're actually got a nice little lead, but now recognizing there is a tree in the vicinity coming in. But there's Shen, the taunt. Nintendo is now back. His ultimate is back on up, and Zion Spartan
the spear for the kill.
Oh, does juke it just at the last second, actually retreating the wrong way. Meanwhile, you also got NK
still going
Inc.
for it.
Still wants it. Get back here, baby. Come on, give me a spear, something, anything.
He hits the wall. Rux is going to be able to get out of there. Rux walking around back into him. He didn't know where he was. He thought that he was still chasing around the top side and runs right back into it. Nidalee. He actually had gotten out, but huge advantages for Dynamic. Orianna coming up. She can roam easily because Xerath has no control over his lane.
Dynamic now has complete control over every lane. Orianna beating out Xerath and farm. You see what Nidalee can do to Jace now that we're hitting into the mid game, and a tier 1 in bot now falls. The damage from Caitlyn with that attack speed from Nunu is just a little bit too much to handle. The barrage is coming in from Xerath, but it's not going to be doing a whole hell of a lot. There's the last one. No stun, no anything, and Para is just fine.
Yeah, but the early turrets, the early gold, it's so incredibly significant for Dynamic right now. And the fact that Nidalee is the best, one of the best split pushers in the game, and they have Shen to back up.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be able to just constantly pressure multiple lanes. They don't need to group. They don't need to have a big fight. They can just pressure multiple lanes, and that's going to allow them to push so aggressively. NK Ink's going to get caught. Lemon God just barely getting out of there, but they're not able to grab anyone, so they do back off.
That's the fear. That is the fear that Dynamic's team has right now over Meat Playground. It's like, oh, yeah, you want to go in your own jungle? No.
Oh, Corky's in a dangerous spot, though, barely able to get off that recall. So he's going to be okay. I mean, he's farming very well. He's keeping up with Caitlyn, but the kill and the tower kill, the other objectives that they get are really devastating. And it's the big advantage is the mid lane and the top lane. And I don't know, it's really going to put a lot of pressure on Meat Playground.
Barra does actually get stunned this time by the Xerath, is also ignited. You got the pullback there, but nice flash out of the taunt coming from Shen. But Para, will he actually have enough health to get out of the ignite? Yes, he does. He does also have that shield, so that helps immensely. Good attempt on Pobelter, but he needs to keep on making those attempts, making those plays to try and get those kills. If you have some help from Blitz or Maokai, that will help out immensely too. But you need to make those plays. He needs to come back into this game.
And so they will back off. Maokai actually engaging on the Shen. Shen should be okay, so he just backs off for a second. But Zion Spartan, it's interesting to see, the harass he's been able to get on Rux. But Rux can just constantly hammer him away, but Zion Spartan just goes right back up to healing and then slowly wins the mana battle. So just slightly exchanging there, actually goes for the ignite, almost takes down Rux. But with Shen there, they actually might tower dive this, or at the very least just take the turret.
Nintendo making his way on in, and Rux knows something up. He's like, why is this lady chasing me so far? I need to get out of here. This is a bad situation. And Nintendo's actually realizing, he's like, well, there's no opportunity top, but look at mid. Pobelter is actually a little vulnerable at this point. Does not know, well, actually, he does actually have now a vision of the Maokai. He did pass those wards. He's second guessing himself. And he realizes, like, yeah, okay, there's the ping. We know they're there. I can't make an attempt from here, but does actually get spotted by Lemon God, and he needs to book it.
And again, Meat Playground, they can't make any plays right now because Dynamic is simultaneously threatening all three lanes. And as a result, Meat Playground doesn't have an opportunity to group. They can't leave these lanes because then they're just going to lose towers. And they're not strong enough to group up and win fights right now because of the gold advantage for Dynamic. And so they're kind of in a no-win situation. Jace did come mid to try and see if they could maybe force a fight for a second, but he's probably just going to go back top again. That top turret's pretty low. They actually are grouping for the dragon, so if they can force a fight here, that might work out for them. But again, you look at Xerath, and there's not enough damage yet. He hasn't quite finished his Rabadons yet. Once he does, that'll be really nice for him. But right now, it's going to be tough for them to have the damage to kill people that they need.
Yeah, it's an if, and it's a big if. He needs 1,500 more gold to finish off the rest of the parts and for the recipe. And real quick work of that dragon here from Dynamic. A little bit too late of a ward.
The hook!
But there is the hook. Don't Mash Me actually manages to flash back into the pit during the pop-up even. Very well timed on that from Don't Mash Me.
Yeah, that would have been brutal if he had gone down. And they're transitioning to bot. So with the oracles from Shen, they know they have the vision. Shen just diving over the wall. We'll be able to push down bot with the Caitlyn, with the Nudu, help protect them a little bit, see if they can get any turrets. While Zion Spartan is still going to be putting on a lot of pressure on top. He's going to be able to take that top turret pretty quickly, and we'll see if they get any turrets soon. I wouldn't be surprised though if Meat Playground they just decide to group, even though they're behind. They need to kind of make a play happen. They can't allow Dynamic to just slowly win the game right now.
Right.
So they might just decide to group, see if they can, pick someone off. But it's really tough when playing against this kind of turret pressure and against the Shen.
Yeah, and if I had to pick a lane to do that, I mean, I would pick bot right now because Caitlyn's flash is down. She still has the cleanse, but that's still one less escape, and she is also the least mobile among everyone. But Pobelter actually getting caught out in the jungle. The attacks on the orb going to be more than enough for Para to actually grab yet another kill down onto the opposing AP carry.
Yeah, and the blue as well. So,
and the blue.
Another couple of advantages. Nidalee's going to be able to take that top turret because Jace has to leave to protect the mid.
Yes. And so Nidalee actually meandering on down. That top turret is actually still up somehow. But it'll be down shortly, I assure you. Same thing here with the mid. I mean, there's still too many members of Dynamic. They could actually get a pinch here on mid if anyone's actually sticking out way too far. But Caitlyn's more than happy. Don't Mash Me with that farm. He's about to hit 200 creeps. Grant, Corky's actually not too far behind, but you do have that 1 kill. It's going to be a little bit more advantageous for the Caitlyn, but still a 1K lead because you also add in all the other objectives, the towers, the dragons, and the like.
I mean, 8K down at this point. I mean, that's brutal. And yes, Nidalee isn't the strongest champion in team fights. Like, that's a small advantage that Meat Playground can maybe deal with. But when you're this far ahead, it doesn't matter. I mean, she's really just a melee AD with a Triforce right now, and Jace doesn't even have that, so she can continue to pressure the spot lane. Rux can't deal with her with that blue because she can just constantly spam heals, and he's never going to be able to effectively trade damage with her. So Zion Spartan, he's actually being passive right now because he wants to make sure he has vision, and he doesn't have that. He knows, all right, Maokai's not there. I don't see Corki at all either. All I see is Xerath and Blitzcrank mid. I want to make sure that I'm not risking myself in a situation top because, if anyone goes down, that maybe opens up an opportunity for Meat Playground to find a maybe little crack to get in. Little chink in the armor.
Zion Spartan does get caught out in the bush, but yeah, as you're saying before, we have the Nidalee with the full Trinity Force. Jace, he doesn't have a Trinity, he has a T. That's it. He's only got the Phage. He doesn't even have the other two parts. Granted, he has the gold to actually buy either the Sheen or the Zeal, whichever one he likes, but he can't leave because he's going to lose that tower. And Light Switch getting hugely chunked out by Nintendude, has no choice but to Valkyrie on out. You do have Blitz, though. Lemon God trying to rush on down to make a play, but he will not be there in time. Povelter is actually sticking around, though. Does get caught out. Have a cupcake. See ya. Get out of there.
And it's moved into a 10k gold advantage. So Dynamic just abusing them all around the map, and there's not really any opportunities for Meat Playground to make anything happen. Zion Spartan really rocking that turret. We'll see if he actually goes in for it. Rux should be able to defend this here and actually will force him back, but it's very, very low, and Zion Spartan is just in complete control of that lane. I mean, it's the same old story, when you go from lane to lane.
It's like nothing new. Nothing new here at all.
Yeah, and there's not really any initiation opportunities for them. They don't have enough damage to take people down. They don't have the long-range initiation to force a fight or pick someone off. Blitzcrank's really their only hope right now. And I mean, Blitzcrank, he can always make magic happen. So you know, maybe they can hope for Lemon God to get some magical hooks and pull them back in.
Well, he did get the one hook on Don't Mash Me earlier, but so much time has passed. The flash is actually just about to come back up. So you got 15 seconds on that. So that could also be another opportunity lost there. He had so much time to try and get the hook. There mutual ignites down onto Nidalee and onto Jace, but Povelter, once again, this band is not having a whole bunch of fun times trying to deal with traps. But there goes Zion Spartan. Does have the heal. There's the
Shen ultimate. He's getting out. Maokai and Xerath are both there, but he's going to get out as they take down that bottom. Lemon God trying to take that. Nintendo gets out.
The flash over the wall, but the barrage.
Lose the oracles. He barely lives.
He does have the W. He will actually be able to get out of there. And also the kill down bot onto the Corki.
Caitlyn died as well, but Nidalee ran all the way down bottom to get out of there.
Oh,
Blitzcrank, he's going to go for the hook over the wall. No way he's going to get it.
No, but he's aggroing the Baron. Actually, he had the passive.
Wow. That was about as close as it gets.
Wow.
Lemon God, you have to check that out later because that was really close. But Nintendo's barely able to get out of there.
So much entertainment coming on in. It's like these close escapes. Will they be able to make it? And indeed they do. And that is just the coordination. How well Dynamic has improved on their team coordination since we've first seen them.
They have so much mobility. They're able to just outrun all of Meat Playground this entire game. And I mean, that's one of the issues with Xerath. He's not a mobile champion. You need a team to fight you. You need a team to just clump up and run at you.
Yeah,
and that's not going to happen with this team. It's definitely not going to happen. Jace has some decent mobility, but and so does Blitzcrank. But it's not enough to follow them.
Yeah, this is pretty much a no clump zone for Dynamic at this point, and it is really unfortunate for Meat Playground. Zion Spartan, same old story, as you said, back here in the top lane. 3-level lead now on the Jace, and just the Phage procs, every time they come in, it hurts so much. He's out-damaging the tower, man. He's out-damaging the tower.
And he can take that damage from the tower knowing he has the heal.
Yeah.
Lemon God, though, he's looking for the hook. He's going to get Paradoxical. Does he go for it? There's the hook. But there's no follow-up. Can they get Xerath in range? The flash from Paradoxical. He's going to get away, too. He throws off the exhaust. They still can't get him.
There is one barrage going in. Does not get the third one.
They needed to pick up that kill. They just can't do it.
It's rough times. It is rough times for Meat Playground here on Summoner's Rift. This cannot win. This cannot get their lucky days. These cannot catch a fleeing Nidalee. You're stepping in too many traps in his Xerath. You cannot capitalize on these hooks. It's an unfortunate situation, and now the game extends to a 13k gold lead here for Dynamic.
Yeah, no, it's brutal how far ahead they are. They're almost doubling them, but I don't know, they can just constantly pressure these lanes. Mid's almost going down. The tier 2's down up top. The tier 2's almost down bot as well. And Nintendude, he's holding 2 people down bot. So that's, never a good situation for a Shen to be able to hold 2 people in his lane because it can force 5v3s later on. But We'll see. I mean, they could almost force the Baron, except that they don't really need to. They know if they force the Baron, that's like the only opportunity that Xerath's going to have to do anything this game, and that's really going to be tough. Pobelt are really struggling to get into it. Nunu and Zion Spartan, they're actually coming up the top side, trying to just continue putting on that pressure.
And it's a little weird, seeing dynamic, seeing as how we've known them, how we've known their play style. Oh, don't mash, but he does actually get caught. There is the hook. He does have the cleanse. He is still ignited. There's the Orianna. Oh, coming on in, does manage to still take down Xerath, but Lemon God, can he actually get away? Pixel with a snowball, keeping him slow, but it's not going to be enough. You got Parrot. He does manage to get out, but there's NK Inc. with the ultimate, trying to reduce as much damage as possible. Flash over the wall. Pixel, can he get out of there? You do have Shen. You have Nintendo still down bot lane. He has not used the ultimate yet. He's waiting for the right amount of time.
The Nunu ultimate.
There is Nunu coming on in, and there is Shen now coming on in. He's joining the party. There is a taunt down the light switch. You got Maokai now going down. Corki does not have time for the Valkyrie. Cannot get out of there. That is 4 for 2.
Oh man, pulling them into the Nidalee and having the Shen. Nunu did go down, but that was a fine absolute 0. And now Zion Spartan is just rocking that top lane. He's just tanking the turret. Lemon God just can't hit the hook. Zion Spartan juking it out there while Paradoxical is pushing down the mid. And the first turret that drops is, when it's almost GG for Meat Playground. There it is. So they get the first turret, and that's going to allow them to pressure inhibitors now. Yep. And that's really brutal.
Before that last fight, I was about to say, is like, knowing Dynamic, knowing their prior play style, the fact that they haven't tried to try a Russian Baron is a little bit shocking, but here they are now. They have way too much of a lead. They know they cannot be contested on this, and that will be a Baron kill for them. They will have the buff for this next push, and I can actually expect them to actually push to win on this after they all back and rebuy.
It's going to be tough because Xerath's going to be able to clear some of those waves. Same thing with Jace. They might actually just continue the split push and just use the Baron for that advantage.
But there is a naked inhibitor.
Yeah, there is a naked inhibitor now, and that's going to make it really dangerous. So they actually come up top to check, but because all the minion waves were pushed, it meant that Dynamic, they knew they could take the Baron safely because they had vision everywhere. They had vision because the lanes were pushed, and Meat Playground had to counter out that push because they couldn't threaten losing to a backdoor. So, the Baron is definitely huge. Nidalee getting the Gunblade, which is just so strong for the attack speed when you're doing that split push, gets the Bloodthirster as well. I mean, look at Jace in comparison. He is a Bloodthirster to Nidalee's Bloodthirster, Triforce, and Rageblade. Like, just such a huge advantage for their whole team.
Look at Nintendo's items. Dude, stop. What are you doing? Thornmail and a Void Staff? I don't think I've ever seen a Void Staff on a Shen. But then again, he's dueling so well in these fights. He's catching so many people off guard. He might as well have... What scales off it? The Vorpal Blade, of course.
Well, yeah, but it's still a troll item.
It's still a troll item, yeah.
Void Staff gives you good damage output, but nowhere near as much compared with other AP items.
Yeah. But still, I think that's kind of telltale from Dynamic that they're confident. They're that confident in how they're building right now.
Those are the items that people always used to buy because they thought they were like the best items ever. But Corki getting caught off. So when you wanted to buy armor and you were new to the game, you would buy Thornmail every time. When you wanted ability power, you would buy Void Staff right away, even when there's not a lot of magic resist.
Para getting hooked, but does flash on out. Will he get stunned? No, he will not. And the push continues. And yeah, I remember the days. I remember those days buying Thornmail all the time. I thought I was so cool. Didn't really work out. But
I'm sure that's why he bought them. But Nidalee's able to take down the top, and they're going to be able to get this bot inhibitor as well. So 2 inhibitors down. Who knows? They might just tank up the mid as well, rather than just fighting at the base. But they can easily take these Nexus turrets. Meat Playground just really not in it at all. Nintendo, he forces it. The Orianna ultimate, and Caitlyn and Nidalee. That's just so much damage. Look at Nidalee just chasing down Jace. The hook, though, they're going to get the kill on Nunu, actually. So there's a little bonus. But Jace does go down. This is the Nexus. They take out the Nexus turrets, and Dynamic wins the series 2-0, and will move on, or at least, get up a nice little 1-0 advantage in this group stage.
Just take out the Nexus, and then that should be it.
Oh, another hook!
Another hook, Science Part, but you will actually live off that. Now just like, hey, can we kill you in the fountain? I think we can, but just wait for the minions. Come on,
That's always the goal.
It's always the goal. It's always the troll. But just take out the Nexus, guys. Come on, you got some business to take care of right over around this area. Come on.
Oh, there's another hook. Paradoxical.
Para, you deserve that one, you jerk. Finish the Nexus, finish the game, damn it.
Yeah, the minions will have it soon enough. Nintendo, he goes in, he finishes off. So GG Dynamic, they pick up the series 2-0.
There you go. Good game for Dynamic. They are pretty far ahead here in the lead in the group stage. All they need to do is get another win. Next, so we already established that Curse is out of the group. So the only team left.
Oh, I'm sorry. The only team left is Mono.Ferus. I
Yes.
thought you were waiting for suspense.
Oh, no. Well, that could be.
That could have been.
It could be.
The only team left is Mono.Ferus, but actually, you know, Meet Playground, they're not actually out of it yet. It could be a three-way tie.
It could be.
So they have to right now. They have to beat Mono.Ferus, and they have to root for Mono.Ferus to beat Dynamic.
Yes.
But I don't know. We'll see how that kind of works out. I think that Mono.Ferus is easily going to be a favorite against Meet Playground. But Mono.Ferus and Dynamic, that's definitely going to be a really exciting match, and probably going to decide who gets that first seed.
It could be, and you know, I'm pretty sure some of us here in the office is like, hey, Mono.Ferus gets that win. That's one less ticket we have to buy.
Meet Playground, though, they are an up and down team, and
they are.
They could. We've seen them beat Mono.Ferus before, so they could definitely pull that out.
Yeah,
they beat Mono.Ferus for the qualifier spot.
Yes, they did, and Mono.Ferus did have the most success without ever actually qualifying up until the last qualifier. They saw a lot of finals and semifinals play, but as I said, though, I think a few people in the office are root for Mono.Ferus to win because they want to buy a plane ticket for Muffin Cutie because he'll be right there.
That'll be a nice plane ticket.
It'll be nice, nice bus ride or maybe even a limo ride. Actually, we can pip out a limo ride.
Oh yeah,
nice.
We'll do a limo ride for Muffin Cutie if they win.
Oh, that'd be hella boss. But I think we're pretty much done for now. Paradoxical, why are you messaging me? I definitely did not deserve that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, that was brutal,
dude. You didn't finish the Nexus, man. Come on, you were right there. You deserve that laser.
All right.
You're cool.
Well,
you're cool.
GG Dynamic, congratulations, guys. Check out everything about IGN or IPL5. IGN.com/IPL5. That's it for the evening. We're gonna throw up a rebroadcast now, and check out the rest of our games. You can check out this series. We'll throw that up again shortly.
We will see you guys tomorrow morning for the continuation of the EU seeding matches, and tomorrow night for the continuation of the NA. And we are done. We will see you guys next time.